when I look at the cinema industry as an art industry, I feel every person who has taken a ticket and watched a movie and felt better for that 2.5 years are stakeholders in this movement, because the stories that we talk about, we reflect this society, these people we see around us. This is our story, this is our movement. So this is the Kerala model that we want to put out to the world.
Thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. I know you've been very busy. I've been watching all your interviews, all the Women in Cinema Collective members. Honestly, it's now like I'm watching everything that's happening. Uh, Rima, thank you so much for speaking to Gulf News. Firstly, you have been a part of the good fight, as we call it. It's a big win for Women in Cinema Collective in Malayalam cinema. I think you were all at the forefront. A group of women were at the forefront of bringing about change, and I want to feel optimistic. Do you feel optimistic, like, let's say, a journalist who's been following this movement for a bit?
Uh, Thank you for speaking with us, Manjusha. And yes, I must say, I do really feel optimistic. And we have really, from the very beginning, when we started off, even though we started off at a point where we were all so angry at what happened to one of our colleagues, um, um, we did have faith um, in Kerala, in our people. At some level, we knew that it was time to speak up, because when we came together, that was also a first for us. When these women came together within the industry, and we realized that we all had common concerns, we all were going through the same thing, and we all wanted to voice out. That in itself was such a discovery for us, and we realized that if we all started speaking, there would we did realize there would be more people who understood where we came from, why we were asking for what we were asking. And as a person working in this film industry, and as a state, and governed by Marxian principles and the left ideals,
Right.
It did make sense for us to talk about workplace rights. And we have been brought upon these ideals. We have seen it all around us all our lives.
Mhm.
And we did really hope and feel that the government at that point would understand what we wanted, and that's why we thought we should go and talk to him, and talk to the CM at that point. And when we after 7.5 years since that happened, when we look back today, we are indeed disappointed that it took 4.5 years for this report to come back.
Right.
Because what all of us lost was 4.5 years of our life. I wish that had not happened. I wish we had, and also it's not just about us, right? Like, if this report had come out at 4.5 years back,
Right.
this whole, whatever is happening today could have happened all those years back.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm quite disappointed with the fact that we lost all this time, because everything else, our careers, the money, everything else, we can work back into that space. But time we have lost.
That is true.
But at least it's out today, and we have people talking about it, people believing in what we had started, and all these doubts that they had. I think we are in a much more positive space right now. Yes.
Of course. Of course, but do you feel like a hostile takeover? Because I ask this because the AMMA, the executive members of the AMMA, including Mohanlal, and all the male members, have resigned. They tendered a resignation, almost like as if they are lashing out, and therefore it kind of absolves them of actually speaking up. Suddenly, the women in cinema, it's also a symbol of change. But at the same time, do you feel it's not fair? Like, here is your chance to make things right, but now again it's back to you all, right? The ball is again in your court. Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Or do you guys feel like, great, it's almost like we're trying to smoke the men out, which is not it's not a gender war.
No, it doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't work like that. I think we all have to stand together. And that is exactly the direction in which WCC wants to steer this movement next. We want everybody, everybody are stakeholders in this, right? From a FEFCA to a MACTA to a AMMA to Chalchitra Academy to KSFDC, everybody are stakeholders in it. And the government who started this movement, to the civil society here. If when I look at the cinema industry as an art industry, I feel every person who has taken a ticket and watched a movie and felt better for that 2.5 years are stakeholders in this movement, because the stories that we talk about, we reflect this society, these people we see around us. This is our story. This is our movement. So this is the Kerala model that we want to put out to the world. So everybody are stakeholders. Nobody can run away from this responsibility. I am 100% sure that is not going to happen here, because our people, this state, hold us responsible. I think this is the only state which questions their politicians, which questions their celebrities. I think we're always held responsible, and I think that is exactly why our cinema is the way it is.
Right. No, there's always accountability, because again, we are a literate state. Even the media is quite turned on. They're not there to just appease you, etc., appease stars or politicians. So that's a great thing.
Yes.
But I remember talking to Mohanlal in 2019, 2 years after the actress was sexually assaulted. He dismissed the entire Me Too movement as a fad and as a trend. Now, I know it is very reductive, but he had a point there, because at some point it did lose steam. Let's not, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, where I said, was he weirdly in some dysfunctional way? Was he right? It was just a fad. At some point, it just fell off. And then are you worried the same could happen, right? And a big star like Mohanlal calling it a fad was, all levels of, I guess, disturbing.
So, Monisha, what I have seen, this is not the first time that a woman has come out and, made a complaint. There have been instances before. But what is different this time? This time, there are a group of women around her who have stood up and said, we are also going to break our silence. We are going to stand up, because this matters to all of us. And in the last 10 years, we have seen so many of these struggles. Like, we have seen a Pembalai Urumai, we have seen the Irippu Samaram, then we have seen so many Viji Chechi in Calicut. Right. We have seen the nurses coming out. So we have seen this, and we're talking about Kerala, we're talking about Kudumbashri, we are talking about 50% representation in the Panchayat level. We cannot brush this aside anymore. We cannot. And I think everybody knows it. And I think that is why I think there is fear, as in there is a reluctance to accept change, because obviously there's a lot of privilege that is going to be taken away.
Very true.
There is a lot of freebies that is going to be taken away. There is all these this power that is going to be taken away. There is going to be democracy that is going to replace it. This means that there is that you'll have to respect the person you're working with. You'll have to talk, figure out problems. You'll have to invest in other people and their future, and also you'll have. It is not just about 15 people anymore.
Right. We're trying to save. Yeah, sorry, go for it. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be more. It is going to be about more than a few people who are going to gain from this industry. Right. We are talking about dismantling that notion of power and giving dignity to all these people who are coming together to create cinema here.
Right.
So it is going to take away a lot of privileges, and I think that there are issues there. That is why most people are reluctant about it. But progress is only going to come if we bring about that kind of positive changes in this industry, and I'm 100% sure this movement is going towards that.
Right. 11 days in, none of the male superstars like Mammootty, Fahad Fazil, Dulquer Salman, the list is long. None of them have spoken up. It's also disheartening. My thing is, it does not.
It's disheartening for sure.
Right. I mean, it's why is it so difficult for you to be part? You don't have to be a member of a film body to be a good human
No.
being or to be a responsible, accountable human being. To just say work with dignity. I mean, it's a very simple line, right? Why do you think there's
Yes.
so much of resistance from men, from powerful men who are adored widely? Now, these are people with some power, and it's not just the women. Some women have been silent too. It's not my fight. It's not happening to me. Therefore, I will not talk about it. Do you think that attitude has to change from men and women who have stayed silent?
uh, I really don't know, Manjusha. I don't know. I seriously don't know how much does it take for you to look around you and look at the people who are building this empire for you, who are building who are working on putting you on that screen, on that big screen, and making a hero out of you, or a hero, like, I do not understand how much does it take to look around and see your fellow beings, see your comrades in this industry, and see that there is so much disparity. It is right there staring at you. um, and it feels really, really sad. I feel I've worked with so many of them. I really wish they would come up, stand up, and talk for all of us,
You're right.
talk for this industry. It is only going to get better if everybody working on a set is coming there with all their heart and are happy and feel safe and secure. It is only going to help this industry. It is only going to better the art that you're going to put out.
Hmm.
And the fact that you know they can't see beyond, you know I can't believe that they can be so myopic.
Yeah, they are myopic and also weirdly selfish. It's also about economics, right? Will work be taken
Yes.
away from me if I deny, if I make a public statement, or if I'm seen as political or as a feminici, as they call it? There's a slur for feminists
See,
as well.
I understand the women. I understand women being scared about that. I do understand that, because it indeed is an industry like that. I see a lot of women who are very silent. I can clearly see it, but I see a lot of women taking courage now, considering how the scenario has changed over the last 7 years.
Right.
So, but I somehow weirdly never really blame any woman, because I think this whole system is against them, and
True.
everybody is just fighting for survival. At some level, I'm ready to give a woman 10 chances if I'm ready to give one to a man,
Yeah.
considering they have everything going for them. They have everything, this whole world system, everything designed for them to succeed and designed for women to fail. So I am asking all the men of my industry to stand up and seriously stand up, and please stand up.
That's it. No, what I like, I mean, after Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood, when people are cancelled in Hollywood, they are fully cancelled. Look at Army Hammer. I don't know if you know him by Call Me by Your Name. That man has been
Uh-huh.
cancelled despite he's been accused of cannibalism, sexual violation, all of it. The cases were dismissed against him, yet he has been cancelled. He's right now in LA selling his truck because he's not getting work. Do you see that kind of like? I feel sometimes we rehabilitate people who are accused after a few months. That has happened several times. Like Nana Patekar,
Hmm.
Tanush Datta spoke to me. Nana Patekar was
Yes.
in a movie a few months ago after that in Dubai shooting. So my whole idea
Yeah,
is, why do we give multiple? Don't you think that has to change? The canceling and unofficial boycott. Forget about actresses. Why are men who are accused
exactly.
of crime
Because
being
I
given
remember, yeah, because I don't really think um, this world, this society, the men understand the kind of trauma a woman goes through when that power is taken away from her, when her body is violated, or when her space is violated. I don't really think they have understood what happens to a person, because most of the women who have come out and spoken during this new Me Too wave are women who are extremely triggered by what is happening, and for once they feel they want to voice, at least tell what happened to them. I am 100% sure they don't think that anything is going to come out of it. I don't think they the survivor of the Dilip case is still fighting.
Yes.
after 7.5 years. So
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is looking for instant, that justice is going to be served to them. If any woman who comes out and talks about it, they go through so much trolling,
Yes, of course.
irrespective of if she has proof, she doesn't have proof, whatever it is. They troll, they get trolled. They go through so much of negativity. There is a lot of people tell they get publicity out of it, and what do we do with this publicity? What do you want to do with this?
Exactly. I
What
don't
kind
get
of
that.
publicity are you talking about? I do not understand that. And you think people will cast these women because they came out and spoke?
Yeah, it
Has
makes
that
no
happened to
sense.
anybody?
Yeah, that math
I don't.
makes no sense. The
Yeah, I
short-term
have. It,
publicity.
it definitely is not mathing for me. So yeah, and so I feel these all these women, most of these women just want to be heard, just want to kind of get some kind of a closure.
Right. For sure. I get what you mean.
Yeah,
That is so
yeah, and
true.
so
Go for it.
and I remember speaking to Divya Gopinath. When I remember she was so heartbroken that she had come out and spoken about Ellen Shear.
Mm.
And immediately he was given a state award. And he went on stage on a state award function and spoke about the statue in such a, I do not understand how nobody even commented on that. How, it just gets forgotten.
Yeah.
I do not understand that. Right now, I have to underline this. The Chalchitra Academy chairman,
Right.
Shaji and Karun, has
Mm.
been under there are so many allegations that from men and women, that they have had such a terrible time getting funds that were allotted to them after they submitted their scripts, and a panel has selected their films from hundreds of scripts that were submitted. So they are at the cusp of starting their film career. They have come with so much trust to a government, to a system, thinking that they can start their film career here, and they have had to go through traumatic experiences, and they're all out there constantly speaking about it. And what do? They immediately make him the Chalchitra Academy chairman.
Mm. Give him more power, basically.
Give him more power. So see, I understand that, at least study what is happening. There are so many cases, instances that so many people are talking about. How? So, it kind of silences all these victims all the more.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they feel they're not relevant. The pain is not relevant. I, I, I find it very, very sad that, a government is not, standing, sitting up and taking notice of this.
Right. No, no, that is being
Considering what
discussed.
is happening, in the state right now.
Yeah, what does it take for you to be taken seriously is the question. I don't know if you've
Seriously.
seen this series called She Said, the New York Times
Of
journalist.
course.
Phenomenal film.
Yes.
But it took
Phenomenal.
every woman, like it's a pattern of
Yes.
behavior, right? If there are more than
Yes.
three women telling you this happened to you, why would they lie? I mean, it's simple. Why would women lie about being violated is something beyond me. Yes, there could be maybe isolated cases that happens, but that does not mean the entire movement is false or it has no leg to stand on. That makes no sense.
Exactly.
Well, but your husband today, I don't know, did he consult with you before stepping down from FEFCA?
No.
No,
No, no.
I love this
That was
democracy.
his that
You
was
all don't
his
discuss
call.
work.
No, no. All these things this is completely his decision. But then he has always been, a whistleblower. He's always stood up for all these issues within cinema. He has constantly tried to improve conditions on his set, and has always spoken up. I think it comes from his upbringing and his SFI time, and his chairman time in Maharajas. He's got that in him, in his blood, is what I've always thought.
I love it. I mean, hold people accountable, even those powerful. That's what I think. Even you are doing that. If you lived in an ideal world, now the AMMA organization has been dissolved. If you could see some like figureheads, like who could lead it forward, I'm sure you, WCC must have come together. Actors will come together. Elections will be held. Do you think there should be fair representation of women? Because I feel, see, you need a seat at the boardroom. You don't need like generally women just hanging around without having any power. Executive members, shouldn't there be more women in it? Shouldn't there be more representation, and women who are also relevant, I would think.
Exactly. And I'm saying, look at this the new committee that the government has put together. It has a Mukesh and a Bu Nikrishnan and a Shaji and Karun again. I do not understand that. How much does it take to understand that we are talking about gender here? We are talking about a space which we are looking at corrective measures with special regard to gender.
Yes.
Let's at least have 50% women on the committee. How difficult is that? We are talking about when Chalchitra Academy was looking for a chairman, we have a Beena Paul here. I still remember every IFFK I have gone to, whenever Binama has come on stage, I have seen the whole crowd clap for her.
Yeah,
She has somebody who's proved her mettle. She is around. And I still remember when she was unceremoniously removed from the Chalchitra Academy for standing with WCC or for whatever political reasons. I have seen festivals around the world lapping her up. Like, she was all around the world doing other festivals.
But not
I can't believe Kerala can't own up and use this talent that we have amongst ourselves. Same thing, even in Amma, I'm saying, like, there are so many women who have stood up and who are talking now. Give them more power. See what will happen. Why? What is stopping you? Right. There is this whole conversation around this. Let us see what they can do as well.
Right. No, I can't wait.
Give them a chance.
Yeah, I can't wait to see change, Rima. That's the good fight.
Yes,
isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I really hope. No, I mean, that's the kind of change. Is that the kind of change you want to see as well?
Yes. Right now, see, I completely understand the whole sexual harassment allegations that are coming out and the fact that media is completely concentrating on it. But yes, we have gone to the HEMA committee. We have already deposed before them. Whatever we had to talk, we have already put out there. Now, after the committee report has come out, now we want to work together with all the other bodies, film bodies within the industry, with all the stakeholders, along with media, along with cultural, figures all over Kerala, with Labour Department, and figure out how we can make this a better workplace.
Right.
That is the next step.
Of course.
And we want to meet the government. We want to meet this CM. We want to understand what can be done about it. And there is this whole, talk about how the Malayalam film industry was flourishing, and the HEMA committee has come and put a stop to it. And no, we are rebuilding the industry. They're like, how come suddenly the Malayalam industry is destroyed? No, it is not about destruction. It is about reconstructing a space, a workplace where everybody can come and work safely with dignity. That is what we are doing. And there is this huge shift from troublemakers to change makers. Yep. And we take that very seriously, and we take that as a huge compliment, and we really do mean to put our weight behind that.
No, I can't wait. Rima, the best part I like about it is, I just wanted to ask you, did you have personal experiences where you had to push back? What would you tell people? Like Malayalam cinema, they are brilliant. I mean, content rich, but we are talking about the workings behind it. It has nothing to, we're not invalidating good cinema. All we are saying is, let's just improve the working conditions. In your case, did you have personal experiences? Did you push back? Did that help? And were you penalized as much for it? And
I was banned twice. I have been penalized multiple times.
Yes, you are always penalized. I feel all the great movies, and I'm like, why don't I see enough of you? Oh, I forgot, there is an unofficial boycott.
Yes, there's an unofficial boycott right now. Yes, but then I began my career with the Shyama Prasad, and I remember our set was such a beautiful set he had created for us. Yes. And I really thought, okay, wow, this is cinema. This is lovely. I'm going to work in this industry. Lovely. But when I have had a lot of issues regarding payment, when I've asked for my value, they have completely, sidelined me. Yeah. There have been a lot of issues. When I did a television show, there was a ban on me saying that, actors cannot do TV shows. There have been multiple instances, actually. But, I don't want to tell anybody that, this is what you should do when something like that happens. I want to say that we need to change a system.
Mm.
We need to create a system where everybody has a voice, everybody has dignity, where everybody has rights. We need to change the system. It is not an individual thing where we, individually go and figure out each issue.
Yeah,
No,
got
that is
it.
not what we have to do.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you're not on a hunt to like bring people down. That's not the
Yes,
whole
no, that
idea,
is not
right?
the idea. That's not
Yeah.
the idea.
Oh, oh, brilliant. Of all the names that have now been accused, I mean, people who have been accused, etc., you said you are not surprised by the HEMA findings. Are you surprised by the names that are being revealed allegedly now? Again, it's a system as, I mean, the justice and there's a legal system in place. But do
Hmm.
you think more names are likely to come out and tumble out? That's the whole thing. The cleanup has to come out with people. Harvey Weinstein was called out. He's like the biggest producer
Yes,
who was there in the Oscar
ye-
stage where even Meryl Streep was thanking him for her career. We're talking.
yes.
Do you think such big names ought to come out, like perhaps bigger predators?
Yes, see, it's not about the names. It's about, I think, believing the survivors. For me, it all comes down to that, Manjusha, if you ask me, because I really wish this had not happened to those women. I really wish they didn't have to go through what they went through. It's not about the men for me. It's about the women for me.
Right. Got
And I'm not happy that all these names are being ousted, and that the industry has been tarnished the way it is.
mm,
But it happened. So many women had to go through this. Even now it is happening. Women, or generally, that there is this major class hierarchy, and I really feel we have to change that, and there is no other way but to completely break this down and rebuild.
I love it. I love it. I really hope it does happen. And I think one thing we can't forget is Kerala film industry is just taking strides here. We are the first ones to do it. And and
Yes.
I'm telling you, like other industries, it might percolate down to other industries where such committees are
Yes,
formed.
because the Bengal
Yeah,
film
yeah, they
industry and
do.
even the Tamil
And
film industry
they are
started.
calling for changes and they're calling for a committee to be formed. In some ways, we are also the torch bearer, but we also bear the brunt. I think you're in a very unique position where you get
Oh,
tarnished
yes.
and called out, but heroes and villains, they can't decide what you guys are. But in my eyes,
Yes,
of course, you guys are the biggest heroes for so many years, several years. Each of you, I think, have done in Cinema Collective, and all the survivors who have had the courage to speak up, and the ones who
yes,
don't, I mean, it's their story to share at their convenience. I think,
yes,
I hope this has a very, very, I don't know, just a great ending. That's the dream.
yes. I really, really do hope so. But I think that it has already started. The change has begun. There is no going back from this, Manjusha.
There's no going back. On that note, thank you so much for talking to Gulf News. We have been following this and we have been trying. We are a bit far away. Malayalam cinema is
Yes,
really loved in the Gulf. I mean, a producer,
exactly.
yeah, a distributor just.
That is why even I wanted to talk to Gulf News, Manjusha, because I still remember. I wanted to tell you this when the WCC had started long back. I still remember coming for we were being trolled and we were being questioned left, right, and center. And I remember coming for the the Sharjah Book Festival, and I
Yes.
remember a full house. I think almost 500 people who cheered and clapped for me. And I remember calling, everybody at WCC and telling them, maybe what we're doing is right.
Sure, for
So,
sure. We
yeah,
had your
yeah,
back.
the Middle East has always given us that kind of support.
No, no, we had your back. And can I just tell you, any story that we do on WCC or Bhavna or any other member, it is always trending. It's always doing well because there's an audience to read for it. And I also honestly think they are with you in the fight. I mean, they may not. Uh,
Yes,
yeah, the idea is if an article is read, it means that there is interest, there's engagement, right? And they're
yes,
weirdly
yes,
invested in it. But
yes,
well done, WCC, for fighting the good fight. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys have won the battle. The war is yet to be won, but well
yes.
done, you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
fighting for all of us. You took one for the women's team, as we call it.
you. Yes, thank you,
I
Manjusha.
really
Thank you
hope,
so
and
much.
keep us posted on all the changes you all bring about systemic reforms, the rot being weeded out. We are
Yes,
watching the space, but you guys are the real stars here.
sure.
Thank you for your
Okay,
time.
thank you,
Take
Manjusha.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.